There is a small coral island in the Persian Gulf, 5 miles long, barely wider than a city neighborhood, that the Iranian writer Jalal al-Ahmad once called the orphan pearl of the Persian Gulf. Today, it is anything but an orphan. It is the most strategically consequential piece of land in this war. And as of Friday night, March 13th, 2026, the United States military bombed it. Kharg Island sits 25 kilometers off the Iranian coast, 483 kilometers northwest of the Strait of Hormuz. Through its terminal flows up to 90% of Iran's oil exports, crude oil, fertilizers, liquid gas, loaded onto 10 supertankers simultaneously from long jetties that extend into the island's unusually deep surrounding waters. It stores up to 30 million barrels of oil at any one time. Those aren't just numbers. That is the financial heartbeat of the Iranian state. Every hospital, every soldier's salary, every missile in the IRGC arsenal, funded ultimately by what flows through Kharg. Energy researcher Petras Katainas put it plainly. If Iran were to lose control of Kharg, it would be difficult for the country to function, regardless of which regime is in power. It doesn't matter, he said. It's the main node of the economy. This is why what happened on Friday night matters so much, and why the way it happened matters even more. Trump announced the strike on Truth Social, saying US forces had totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Kharg Island. But crucially, he said the oil infrastructure had been spared. CENTCOM confirmed the strike destroyed naval mine storage facilities, missile storage bunkers, and multiple other military sites. More than 90 Iranian military targets in total. The oil terminal, as of Saturday morning, was untouched. But here is the thing about Kharg that makes this moment so dangerous. The strike itself is not the crisis. The threat attached to it is. Trump wrote directly, should Iran or anyone else do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, he would immediately reconsider this decision. Translation: the oil infrastructure on Kharg is now a hostage, and Iran knows it. Tehran threatened to reduce US-linked oil facilities to a pile of ashes if any of its energy infrastructure were attacked. Iran also warned residents near 3 major UAE ports, Jebel Ali, Khalifa, and Fujairah, to evacuate, designating them as legitimate targets. The economic consequences are already severe. Brent crude closed above $100 per barrel for the second straight day, having surged more than 40% since the war began. A release of 172 million barrels from the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve failed to calm investors. About 1/5 of global oil supplies and 1/3 of fertilizers used around the world pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Every day it stays closed, the global economy tightens further. This is not the first time Kharg has been at the center of a war. During the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, Saddam Hussein repeatedly bombed the island, trying to choke off Iran's oil revenue. The facilities were badly damaged, but Iran kept repairing them and exports continued. Since then, Tehran has spent decades fortifying Kharg. Air defenses, hardened infrastructure, underground storage designed to keep oil flowing even under sustained attack. And they saw this coming. By March 7th, satellite imagery showed only 9 of the island's oil storage tanks were full compared to 27 in mid-January, suggesting Iran had been quietly drawing down reserves since early February, before the war even began. They prepared, and they are still standing. The question now hanging over every oil trader, every Gulf state government, and every military planner in Washington is brutally simple. What happens next time? Because Trump has now established Kharg Island as leverage, a gun held to the temple of the Iranian economy. The next time Iran mines a shipping lane or a drone hits a tanker, the president has told the world exactly what he is prepared to do. JP Morgan warned this week that a strike on the oil infrastructure would have major economic implications, not just for Iran, but globally. We are talking about a potential supply shock that would make the 1973 oil embargo look manageable by comparison. The orphan pearl of the Persian Gulf is no longer orphaned. It is the center of the world, and the next 72 hours will determine whether it stays intact or becomes the match that lights the wider fire. If you like this lecture, please like and subscribe. This very helps our channel. See you next lecture.